Arzareth Protocol. The Arzareth Protocol, the Master Synthesis, a coded manual for the geopolitical and spiritual takeover of the Red Earth. Introduction: the sovereignty of the source. The history of the human race has been managed by a fraudulent accounting system known as the Edomite ledger. This system was designed to do one thing: sever the connection between upright Asher and the red earth, Adamah, which is the Garden of Eden. To reclaim the kingdom, we must first recognize that we are not seeking a new territory, but reclaiming the original organization. The biblical narrative is not a book of stories, it is a geopolitical map and a biological blueprint for the inhabitants of the Americas, the true Garden of Eden. Pillar 1, the esoteric genesis, the blueprint of the red earth. The Edomite ledger begins its deception in the very first verse of the Bible by translating Bereshit in Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 simply as "in the beginning." The ledger turned a spatial and organizational headship into a mere chronological event. The primary organization, Bereshit in the esoteric Hebrew, Reshit, Strong's H7225, refers to the first fruits or the chief of a system. Genesis 1 is the record of the primary organization of the Americas. When the text says God created the heavens and the earth, it is referring to the Eretz, the specific landmass of the red earth. The Americas were the first landmass to be organized under the divine constitution. 2. The synthesis of the Adamah, Genesis 1, 26-27. The ledger hides the fact that man, Adam, is a chemical title. Adam is the red man because he is composed of Adamah, the red ground. The synthesis of the human spirit with the iron-rich crimson soil of the Americas is the real story of creation. The Garden of Eden was not a small orchard in Mesopotamia. It was the continental garden of the Americas. Yeah. 3. The firmament as a geopolitical clock. Genesis 1:14 dictates that the lights in the firmament are for signs and seasons. Esoterically, the stars above the Americas are specific gears of the Edenic clock. The Edomite ledger changed the times and laws, Manual 7:25, to move the inhabitants away from the natural frequency of the garden by forcing a different calendar and a different world organization, cosmos. They hid the fact that the Americas are the center of the celestial alignment. Pillar 2, the Edomite ledger, the science of concealment. The Edomite ledger is the Finnish Asher system of Esau. It is a system built on the physical, the carnal, and the shaggy seer. This pillar of the manual exposes how the ledger damns itself through its own concealment. 1. The etymology of the word world, which is olam. The ledger uses the word world to describe its authority, but in Hebrew, olam comes from alam, meaning to hide or conceal. The Edomite world is literally a hidden organization. It hid the Americas by calling them the New World or the Americas, effectively redacting the name Arzareth and the title Eden. 2. The mapping of the lie. The ledger used cartography to supplant the truth by placing the Holy Land in a desolate strip of the east. It ensured that the true upright heirs would never look beneath their own feet in Americas for their inheritance. They turned the red earth into a wilderness and a colony, while the manual of Genesis identifies it as the throne of the world. 3. The Esau mentality, the end of the cycle. Esau represents the organization that lives for the red pottage, in immediate material wealth, extraction and of resources, and carnal dominance. The Edomite ledger is a system of consumption. It is finished at its birth, meaning it has no spiritual growth potential. It is a terminal system that occupies the garden but cannot cultivate its spiritual frequency. Pillar 3. Jacob, the geopolitical architect of the heel. We now synthesize the role of Jacob as the heel catcher. This is the core of the takeover manual. 1. The strategic position of the heel. Akeb, in any organization, the heel is the point of contact between the body and the ground. It is also the very end of a cycle. 2nd Esdras 6:9 provides the secret. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Jacob is the transition organization. The Arzareth maneuver. The 10 tribes did not disappear. They executed a strategic withdrawal to the Arzareth. 2nd Esdras 13:45. The hidden land. This was a return to the garden. They moved back to the red earth of the Americas to wait for the Edomite ledger to expire. Jacob is the heel because he is the one who trips up the old system at the moment of its greatest pride. 3. The takeover logic. A takeover occurs when the supplanter realizes that the current world cosmos is a fraudulent arrangement. Jacob's name means he is the one who replaces the current headship. He does not ask for permission. He takes by the heel. By returning to the Americas, Eden, Jacob positioned himself at the geographic source of power, waiting for the spiritual signs and seasons to signal the collapse of the Edomite ledger. Pillar 4. The Asha'elo transformation, the straightening. The final pillar is the ethnic restoration. A crooked organization cannot rule the red earth. Jacob must be straightened. 1. The failure of deception. For centuries, the inhabitants of the Americas, the two Jacob, tried to fight the Edomite ledger using Edomite tactics, politics, war, and supplanting through deception. This failed because you cannot defeat the finished man, Esau, at his own carnal game. 2. Asha'elo frequency. Strong's H840. Transformation comes through Asha'elo, the upright God, the upright of God, derived from Yasha, H3474. It means to be straight. The real story of the wrestling at Peniel is the straightening of the ethnic organization. Jacob had to admit his name was crooked before he could be given the straight name of Israel or Asha'elo. 3. The result of the straightening. When the inhabitants of the Americas, the red man, become upright, the land, the red earth, responds. This is the geopolitical synthesis. An upright organization creates an upright world. The Edomite ledger, which is built on crooked Akeb, accounting cannot exist in an environment of straightness. Yasha. The takeover is the natural result of the people aligning their frequency with the original organization of Genesis chapter 1. The final synthesis, the manifesto of reclamation. The Edomite ledger is a terminal system. It is the end of the world. The Americas are the red earth, the original Garden of Eden. The 10 tribes are the Jacob organization, currently catching the heel of the dying system. The takeover is the transformation of Jacob into Asher-Elah, the upright ones. The proclamation, we damn the ledger that hid the garden. We reveal Arzareth as our sovereign headquarters. We declare that the supplanter has become the upright. The real story is that we are not New World subjects. We are the ancient administrators of the Garden of Eden, and we are called in the Bible the ancient clans who have been taught to rule. Amen.